Hi, this is Nick Sestito from BluePrint Automation, and I'm going to demonstrate how to change over a BPA 3 or a Cubemaster 200 without an integrated case erector. So here's your home screen. On the system control screen right now, we're started off to run product 2, and we want to change over to product number 1. So back to the main menu, and you'll find your changeover button in the bottom right corner here. Do you want to start changeover? Yes. If you did not already have control current on, you'd have to turn it on and then start changeover. Push an e-stop or open a door, and we can lock out the machine here. And we're going to change over to the first product code, the McDonald's Japan French fries. First step is to drop the back plate. These two handles here, I just want to loosen them and drop it down, and that gives you access to this spring, and we're going to need that later. Then we want to open up the cassette width door. And again, we have a handle. We just loosen it up. You have a scale right here for reference later, and we just want to pull that open. Next, we want to unlock and remove the pusher plate. Now, the easiest way to do this is to actually open this tipper this tipper door, and to pull the pusher plate out. And to open up that flap spreader so you don't hit it. I just unlock this toggle clamp and be ready to catch the pusher plate. Unlock the hook there, and that should come out easy. You might need to bump it. And we put that aside. If you're changing over from a product that uses the same pusher plate, you'll skip that step in the HMI and you won't see it. Next, we're going to remove the current lift plate and install 366602. So in my storage, I find the changeover tag 366602. And here's the opening we made earlier. There's a spring you're going to want to pull down, and then you're going to want to pull that lift plate out. It might be easier to get to it from the front. And that should come out pretty easy. And for the new plate, I usually place it in from the front. And here's your spring pin that's going to have to go through this hole. So again, I'll go through this opening, I'll pull it down, and you got to line it up with these two guide pins, and then your spring should come up through the hole easy. You can come to the front, make sure it's locked in. Install bottom flap holder 366604. That is here. So first I'm going to remove the current one. And that's just two hand screws. They should just be hand tight. You just slide the piece out and bring the new one in. The screws go through these slots. Make sure you're keeping pressure towards you while you screw in the hand screws. Install ram pusher plate 35, 25, 9, 25. There you go, and there's your changeover tag. So you have 4 pins and then the center hook to line up in the loading ram. So you're going pretty easy, but sometimes you might need to bump it in. Then again, you want to hook with the clamp and then push the clamp down. And you should see that lock in. You shouldn't be able to pull the clamp back. All right. You want to raise the clear cassette backstop to 38 centimeters and check for a 1/4 inch clearance below the ram plate. So first I'm going to push my ram plate back into position. Then here is the first changeover when we lowered it, and here's your scale, and here's your marker to find where you are in the scale. And I want to raise it up to about 38 centimeters. And I tighten those clamps down. And then I see I have about a 1/4 inch between the top of this glass plate and the bottom of the loading ram. This isn't a very critical adjustment, so if you're a couple millimeters up or a couple millimeters down, that's okay. And then move the sidewall to 33 millimeters and check again for that 1/4 inch clearance. So here's your scale. I'm going to start and move it to 33 millimeters. Right here, there's your marker. I tighten that clamp down. And then what you want to check for is a 1/4 inch gap between your loading ram here and your adjustable sidewall here. So while I push the ram all the way back, I see about a continuous 1/4 inch gap between, again, the loading ram side and the glass door. And I can pull it all the way out as well with the flap spreaders all the way open. And again, you'll see about a 1/4 inch between the loading ram and the inside surface of the flap spreaders. So you don't get any interference when your loading ram comes out and doesn't scrape the side of this wall. So we look okay there. Next we need to install the V-Pack at tipper, and that's this lead-in plate. So it's already installed for this product code, but if you were to change that over and need to install it or remove it, that's going to be these 2 hex heads here that are clamping these shafts, and you're going to need to use a 3/4 inch wrench to loosen those, and it should just slide right out. Okay, next you're going to check the case length. And we're going to adjust the tipper clamp for vertical mode adjustment, which we're doing. We use a 3/4 inch wrench to make that adjustment. So here's my empty case, the product that we're changing over to. So a good way to do this is to extend the cylinder out. There should not be any air on it. So that's all the way forward. And then here are your 2 adjustment hex heads. And I want to put my empty case in here. And I want to extend my clamp all the way forward. And what you want to find is a good hold, but not too tight. We're crushing the case. So I just feel a little bit of friction there. It's already in a good spot right now. But if I needed to go a little forward or a little back, I would loosen these two hex heads and slide that clamp where we need it. So we're in a good spot now. It's the same case length actually that we're changing over to. that's what you're looking for that adjustment. If you need to, we have a triangle shaped insert that you're going to attach to the clamp, and we usually store that behind this first glass door. So if you have a much shorter case, you're going to take this insert and that's if your case is too short that your clamp cannot reach to pinch that case into the tipper, even if you've gone all the way forward with this tipper clamp. So then you'll need this. In this case, we do not need this, but it's the same deal. You'll have 3 points, and that'll insert right into the plate of the cylinder. You push it all the way forward, and then you'll have three hex heads to tighten. And again, those are 3/4 inches. Adjust the empty case indexer. So here's our empty case indexer. And we're already in a good adjustment for it, but if I take it out of adjustment, what you'll want to do is open up your backstop adjustment all the way, and you get a scale right here. Right now we're at about 25, and you want to bring your empty case right up and referenced up against the indexing box, and then I'll slide up my backstop all the way, and then I'll back it off to about 1/4 inch of gap, and then I'll tighten it up there. So that's your backstop adjustment for the indexer. Then you'll also see the indexing cylinder all the way forward, and your empty case is going to stop against that indexing cylinder. And then back here, you've got your stopping cylinder adjustment, and you want that, and you can pull it out if you need to. And then you want that with your first empty case pushed all the way forward. You want this to be maybe about 1 inch from your first empty case, and that'll clamp onto the second empty case and keep it from going forward when you're indexing in this case. So here my adjustment looks about 18. And there you go, your indexing is adjusted. Next is the empty case reference. So after my empty case comes in and this cylinder retracts, my empty case is going to come in and hit this empty case reference, and that gives the correct position for the tipper, for the empty case to be pushed into the tipper. And I'm going to adjust that right down here, and you'll see 2 handles again, and you'll see a scale with the position that your adjustment's in, that your reference is in. And again, you're going to loosen those, and the screen said 400 millimeters, scales in centimeters, so I'll be at 40. And then again, this is not a very critical adjustment. You could be a few millimeters forward or a few millimeters backwards, that's okay. What you're looking for is, with the tipper clamp retracted, you're going to want to see this pusher with an empty case against this reference, and you'll want to see this pusher transition that empty case into the tipper with a little bit of space on this side and a little bit of space on this side, just to make sure you get a smooth transition of an empty case into the tipper. So that looks about okay. And then we're going to go, the next changeover is we're going to go to the other side, and we're going to set the full case reference. So now we're on the other side of the machine. This is the reference side of the machine. I'm going to open this tipper guard door. And now here's the full case reference. And the same deal, we have the full case reference with the 2 handles. Then we have a scale, and we have an indicator of where we are in the scale. And the trick to this part is I have an empty case, which will be a full case and running. The tipper is going to release that full case. It's going to come here, and the full case will reference against the full case reference. And this case is going to sit here to allow a new empty case, allow this full case to be the reference point of a new empty case coming in. So the best position you're going to want to find here is to pay attention to the pop-up empty case reference. So if I slide this all the way back, and then I see a pop-up reference right here, and you can pop that up with your hand, that's when you do not have a full case to reference against, and you're going to want your full case reference to be set to about the same point that this pop-up is referencing the new empty case. So what I'll do, and I use this roller here that the pop-up is in front of as a reference, and I set this empty case here, and I want the edge of this empty case to be right about on the center of this roller. So I put this tipper in place, and then I'm going to push this full case reference forward until we're right about on the center of that roller, right about there. And that's a good trick to setting this empty case, this full case reference. I'll tighten my handles down, and I'm looking to be at about 31 centimeters. So again, your new case will come in, reference against this full case, and you'll be about at the same reference position as if that full case reference pop-up were up. So now we've adjusted the empty case and full case reference, and then we need to return control current to the machine. So I'll take off my lockout lock, bring back to run, and I'll need to close any door that is still open. We still have a door open. I left the tipper door on the reference side of the machine open. So now we're ready to turn control current back on. And you'll see the machine adjusting to the new product code parameters. You'll see the lane diverter set a new width for the product bag width. And then you're also going to see our bag stop will go in home to the home procs, and then come back out to the new product length when the product lays on the carrier plate, as well as the bottom flap adjustment on the other side. You won't be able to see it from this view, but that'll also go down and find the new lift plate loading position. So we're still auto adjusting, so the Packer auto adjust is not ready yet. And once you are ready, we're going to see a new screen here with the final changeover adjustment. So here's the final adjustment for the changeover. It wants us to open the tipper guard door and use a 9/16 wrench to adjust the major flap guide. So that's on the non-reference side of the machine. And you'll find the adjustment right here. Here's the major flap guide, and here's your engraved scale, and here's the hex head you're going to adjust to. And what you're going to do is match this side to the automatic adjustment side. And on the automatic adjustment side, you're going to find a button head adjustment, and this is on a lead screw with the motor. So that'll find its position automatically. And you're going to see here on the engraved scale we have 40.6 centimeters, maybe 40, in between 40.6 and 40.7. So I do not adjust this side. I come over here. And I loosen this side up. And again, I go in between 40.6 and 40.7. And I tighten it down there. It doesn't have to be super tight. And then just double check that you've matched each side, and each of these flap spreaders look like they're about on the same vertical level. Okay. So changeover is complete. It'll bring you back to your running screen, and then the last step you're gonna wanna do is follow yourself up the product in feed, and maybe get a bag of product and notice these changeover guides or these guide rails on the side, and make sure the width of your product is about right for the width of these guides. And you're gonna find 2 more adjustments as well in the incline settler. You're gonna find a width adjustment as well as a height adjustment, and you're gonna try and match those right about to the product dimensions. And that's everything that you'll need to change over a BluePrint Cubemaster 200, also known as a VPF3. Thank you for watching.